This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're here at the 9th annual LD Micro main event in Bel Air, California. With me right now is James Nathanielsz. He is the co-founder and CEO of Propanc Health Group, publicly traded company with the symbol PPCH. James, welcome to SNNLive.
Thank you very much.
It's great to have you on our program. So for our audience, let's start off with an overview of the company and go from there.
Okay, the company was founded in 2007 and basically was on the basis of some interesting compassionate use data, some human data that my colleague and co-founder, Dr. Julian Kenyon, had administered a treatment to a number of late-stage cancer patients. Since 2007, we founded the company. We've formed our development programs, went public in 2012 in the United States. So we have a US parent company now. And basically what we're looking to do is proceed into patient trials with our lead drug.
So tell me a little bit about the lead drug. What is it and what is your target indications?
The name of our lead drug at the moment is called PRP, which is just simply an acronym. Our drug basically targets cancer stem cells and eradicates them and leaves the healthy cells alone. So this is a very exciting phenomenon. Where we're targeting our lead indications are aggressive cancer types where cancer stem cells have a high degree or a higher population than in less aggressive tumors. So this applies this technology to probably most common solid tumors.
And where are you currently at in your development?
We are preclinical at the moment, but we've made some rapid progress in the last 12 months. We're completing a formal toxicology study in animals. That will be finished early next year, and then we'll be looking to undertake patient trials by 2017.
And where does the science come from?
The science is interesting. It originated out of Bucknell University in Pennsylvania by a molecular biologist who'd worked on it for a number of years with a retired oncologist. Dr. Julian Kenyon, our chief scientific officer, collaborated with that molecular biologist by the name of Joseph Novak. And he then treated the patients by compassionate use. I've known Julian Kenyon for a number of years, and basically the science evolved from there. And since then, we've undertaken a lot of scientific research ourselves and filed a number of key patents.
And where have you been conducting some of your preclinical work?
We've been conducting it primarily out of Australia, also a portion in the United States. We also have research partnerships with two universities out in Granada in Spain. They have quite a significant pharmaceutical presence out in that particular region. There's a couple of universities that we're affiliated with, as well as a hospital that serves the whole of the Andalusia region in cancer. So this provides quite a good deal of infrastructure for us as we plan to expand our pipeline and our technology.
And what differentiates what you're currently developing than what's currently available?
Well, the key point that I think is quite exciting is that, as I mentioned before, we target cancer stem cells, but we're not directly killing the cells. What the PRP does, which consists of two proenzymes, is they alter the cancer cell's characteristics. They force the cell to express certain genes which they normally wouldn't as a malignant cancer cell. As a result, these cells become normal or benign. What that enables them to do is then undergo standard treatment approaches to then eradicate those once resistant cells. So this is the exciting phenomenon about cancer stem cell therapy that we're developing, is that it's a differentiation agent which is pushing these cancer cells back to normal behavior.
So it sounds like you're not doing so much, like in stem cells, a lot of times you hear about regeneration. It's regenerative medicine, yes. And it's a different take on it. It's not so much you're creating new cells as opposed to actually changing the bad cells back into potentially good cells. Is that what you're looking at?
That's an excellent summary. What this is essentially that these malignant cancer cells, in order to become motile and invasive, they have to become stem cell-like. So it's a bit of a play on words. But what we target are those stem cells, or those cells that have taken on those characteristics. So in actual fact, the biggest key question that any patient asks that undergoes standard treatments is, will it return? This is the real problem that we have with many, many different cancers. What we're looking to do is take that out of the equation, and this has significant potential in the market.
You said this a little bit earlier. So you said that there would, in some cases, there would have to be standard of care after they would, use PRP potentially. Am I right on that? Like, how does that all work?
Okay, how this works is that essentially we're talking about a disease process. So as part of a disease process, you need a solution, which then takes on maybe a number of different regimens. Everybody understands that now in cancer, that you need multiple approaches to really knock back cancer, especially at later stages of the disease process. Our product has a number of different applications. Potentially, it could be applied after standard treatment approaches to prevent recurrence. That is a significant issue. Resistance from tumors is a really big problem with standard treatment approaches. We could also be utilized prior to treatment. The reason for that is because these resistant cells then exhibit normal or benign characteristics and then can be treated more effectively, but perhaps with low-dose chemotherapy. The biggest issue of cancer stem cells is chemoresistance. And this is a big problem that means that these cells can regenerate.
And what's your background? How did you get into all this?
I've got nearly 20 years experience, primarily in research and development and product development. In serendipity, initially I started out in product development, working hands-on with a lot of these different chemotherapeutic drugs. I then co-founded the company with my colleague, and all up I've been probably working close to 10 to 12 years within oncology. But my discipline in research and development has come across a variety of different fields, and I have originally a biochemistry and applied chemistry background, but I've also undertaken business studies in the past, and I've combined that experience to take and develop Propanc for the future.
So I have another basic science question for you, and it has to do with with every cancer. Do each of them have a cancer stem cell in them? Is that how does that work?
Well, in actual fact, cancer stem cells and the phenomenon around how they spread, you're really talking about solid tumors. And solid tumors are any particular tumors that originate from an organ within the body. That also includes the skin. That's our biggest organ. So fundamentally, it's just avoiding blood cancers or cancers from the lymphatic system. But these are solid tumors and originate from a particular organ. It's these types of cancers that acquire this cancer stem cell trait to enable it to spread and become motile and invasive and become metastatic. So that's the key point. And 80% of cancers are from solid tumors. So when you think about the applicability of PRP, 80% of cancers is quite significant.
And where did you say that you guys were looking to do the clinical trials for your upcoming studies?
We're primarily targeting Europe and in particular the UK. And the reason for that is my colleague, Dr. Kenyon, resides in the UK, and the majority of the patients treated by compassionate use were from there. And so when we presented that to the regulator, it was of interest from the fact that it was done under UK law. So we're targeting that, but our trials will be able to be utilized and recognized by any regulatory agency in the world. FDA is of primary importance to us, but we're focusing on the European Medicines Agency and Europe initially, and have the FDA tail slightly behind.
And where can our audience go and find more information about the company?
On www.propanc.com. There's an interesting mechanism of action video that investors can click on and can understand with 3D animation how our technology works.
And that's www.propanc.com. My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're here at the 9th annual LD Micro main event in Bel Air, California. With me again is James Nathanielsz, the co-founder and CEO of Propanc Health Group, publicly traded company with the symbol PPCH. James, thank you again for joining me today.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure.